Welcome to Space Science today. We are going to look into a very interesting topic. How does a rocket take off? A rocket takes off by using the principle of action and reaction. This principle, which is one of Newton's laws of motion, states that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. In the case of a rocket, the action is the burning of fuel and the reaction is the thrust that propels the rocket forward. The fuel is burned in the rocket engine, which creates hot gases. These gases are then expelled out of the back of the rocket engine at a very high speed. The force of the expelled gases pushing backwards is what propels the rocket forward. The amount of thrust that a rocket produces depends on the amount of fuel that is burned and the speed at which the gases are expelled. The more fuel that is burned and the faster the gases are expelled, the more thrust the rocket will produce. In order to take off, a rocket needs to produce enough thrust to overcome the force of gravity. The force of gravity is what pulls the rocket down towards the Earth. The amount of thrust that a rocket needs to produce to overcome the force of gravity depends on the mass of the rocket. The more massive the rocket, the more thrust it needs to produce to take off. Once a rocket has taken off, it continues to accelerate until it reaches a certain speed called escape velocity. Escape velocity is the speed at which a rocket needs to travel in order to escape the pull of gravity and enter orbit around the Earth. The escape velocity from Earth is about 11.2 kilometers per second. Once a rocket reaches escape velocity, it will continue to travel in orbit around the Earth. The rocket can then use its engines to change its orbit or to travel to other planets. In space, an engine has nothing to push against. So how do rockets move there? Rockets work by a scientific rule called Newton's third law of motion. English scientist Sir Isaac Newton listed 3 laws of motion. He did this more than 300 years ago. His third law says that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The rocket pushes on its exhaust. The exhaust pushes the rocket, too. The rocket pushes the exhaust backward. The exhaust makes the rocket move forward. This rule can be seen on Earth. Imagine a person standing on a skateboard. Imagine that person throwing a bowling ball. The ball will go forward. The person on the skateboard will move, too. The person will move backward. Because the person is heavier, the bowling ball will move farther.